Otus is all about improving efficiency for educators. Before I get into the product, let me just tell you a little bit about a day in the life of an educator today. Every single day, they have many tasks that need to be completed. Those tasks aren't bundled together in neat little packages so that they can sit at a desk all day and work through them. All of those tasks are really important because if they don't get done, there's a big problem. If you look at my screen, you'll see that some of these tasks have to do with teaching and learning. Others have to do with communication. Others have to do with looking at student data. Others have to do with collaborating with colleagues. Some of them can be completed with technology, others can't. What the market has done with ed tech is put single point solutions in place for teachers to complete the tasks that can be completed with technology in a very siloed off, fragmented way. So of course there's one product that can be used to create assessments for kids. There's another product that will be used to look at documents. Another product is used to log communication that they're having with colleagues about a student. The list goes on. And what ends up happening is that teachers have 10 to 15 different systems that they're using to complete these tasks. And the problem that creates is that students, there's no one centralized place with all of the information about a student. Student data then is scattered across many places, and that just makes a very fragmented, inefficient experience for not only teachers, but for students, for families, and for school leaders. So what Otus did is not brain surgery. We just recreated all of the different one-off tools and put them in a single platform so that educators, parents, and students have a common place to go for all of the academic, the social emotional, the communication, the collaboration, information, and tools they need in order to stay in touch with their kids' life each day. So now let me get into the product. So I'm logged in as a teacher right now, and what you'll see is that Otus is not just a learning management system. It's not just a system for looking at assessments. It's not just a place to text and email families and students. It's not just a data warehouse. The key is all of this stuff in one spot and working together. So in a sense, we're able to displace or replace several different tools in exchange for one platform. The teacher sees all of the classes that they teach. If they click on any individual class, they see all of the students in the class. You'll notice that we have a bunch of other tools and modules that they can use, again, in one place, helping them be efficient. But the best way for me to share everything that Otus does is by looking up close at a single student. So if we look at an individual child, we see their positive and negative behaviors for the past week. We see their participation or engagement in class. Of course, we see their grades. We see their strengths. Schools are oftentimes very good at telling kids what they're not good at, sometimes not very good at telling students what they are good at. And so we want to be able to do that. And we do that through a self-survey that the students take. There's access to a portfolio of work. So whether it was a test, whether it was a picture they took on a field trip, whether it was them playing their instrument and recording it through Otus, parents, students, school administrators, and the student themselves and their teachers have an access to a portfolio of work. Of course, we can get into the high stakes assessment performance, so whether it's ACT or any other test that the kid has taken, that data is visible right within the Otus platform. And then finally, since we can text and email through Otus, there's a family communication log that will show the history of contacts. Even if it's a face-to-face conversations or a phone call, that can be documented. There's a place for incidental notes so that, we're able to have just really idea sharing and thought sharing in the school setting. As you know, schools are very siloed themselves. There's classrooms and there's one teacher in the classroom, and they don't often have time to all collaborate and share information. And this is a way to do that. So think of Otus as a learning management system, an assessment management system, a data warehouse, a collection of classroom management tools, all bundled together. And now that they're bundled together, teachers are more efficient, students are more organized, parents are more engaged. Of course, data can be aggregated now that we have all of the data in one spot, and we haven't had to worry about a million integrations. So teachers very quickly can see, I want to look at the data for how my students have been behaving over the past month, and I can not only see what behaviors, positive or negative, have been noted, but I can see the students in my class who have come to class unprepared. And I can create a small group of those students and then share lessons and resources based on what the data is saying. This is where traditional e-learning management systems fall off. The data is not displayed in any actionable way, and that's where Otus has really been transformative. I'm going to stop in just a moment, but I want to show you how a school leader would use Otus. So now a school leader is able to come in and say, you know what, I'm sick of the media and our communities and my bosses coming down on us because of a single test score. My students are much more than a single test score, and I need to be able to convey that to my school board and to our communities. So since Otus is not only bringing data in from high stakes tests like the ACT or PARCC, which is what is used in Illinois, actually it's named something different this year, but it's bringing in data that's happening every day in the classroom so that I can now, as an administrator, run queries. And I can say, hey, let's look not only at the data from a single test, but let me show you about the other areas where we're growing. Maybe our state test score dropped, but the assessments that our teachers are creating, our scores have increased. Our attendance has increased. Our engagement has increased. The number of positive behaviors that we're seeing in the hallways has increased. That becomes super valuable. We're not just measuring kids on a single test score. So again, think of Otus as the first comprehensive platform where all of the tools to gather information about students is not only gathered and displayed to students, but now we can take action with that data to really transform education by seeing students and school performance in a much more holistic way.